Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees, where we believe that everyone can achieve all-round success. I'm going to be having a conversation with my very good friend, Yinka Olaito. I've known him for several years. And today we're going to be discussing a topic titled Tough Times, Overcoming Adversity. I'm sure everybody knows that this is a tough time indeed for everybody in the world. The pandemic is devastating. It's affected a lot of us. It has affected our lifestyle. Last time I checked, about 70 million people have been infected around the world, and about 700,000 people have died. In Africa, about 800,000 people have been infected. So it's really a serious problem. Businesses have collapsed. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So it's a tough time. So without wasting time, I want us to dive into today's session. What I'm going to first do is to ask Mr. Yinka to tell us about himself. Who is Yinka Olaito? Tell us about your background, where you were born, the school you went to. People would like to know you. Over to you, Mr. Yinka.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, listener and everyone. My name is Yinka Olaito. I'm presently based in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a media and communication specialist with over 20 years cross-industry experience. My dexterity in brand and business communication, content development, digital communication, and in terms of my background, I've been an entrepreneur and a consultant for profit and non-profit for some time, and it's been quite a journey. In terms of academics, I don't think that's really important, but had my first degree in Nigeria and a master's degree in communication, media and communication in UK. I think that will be okay for now.
Interesting. I remember when we met in K2 Oluwalugbo, Redeemed Christian Church of God. Remember those days?
That's true. That's quite 23 years ago.
Yes, that's nice. Now, you've written some books. And one of the books you've written is called My Scar. Can you just tell us why you wrote that book and what can the viewers, what can they learn from the book you wrote, from that book?
All right. Let's just start with the, what is the purpose of this meeting? As overcoming adversity, either as entrepreneur or anybody. The time I check, I discovered that if you have understanding of the etymology of the word adversity itself, you quite understand what we're talking about here. I tried to check the definition and etymology of that word. I discovered it came from a Latin word in the Middle East. In the French origin, it was adversary. But in another area, it was called adversita, meaning that something unfortunate directly faces you or turns towards you. So if you understand that life happens, and then it is always there that no matter how smart we are bound to face adversity in life, even if it is once in our entire life. But the fact is, adversity does not have that kind of capacity to destroy us. Particularly if you are prepared and you know where you are going in life. If you don't know that, you are likely to lose out. So my growing up taught me a lot about life. And some of the decisions that I took as a young boy, as a teenager, and all that influenced where I'm going, where I am today, how I'm going to reach out to getting to where I am today. So if you're an entrepreneur or as an individual, challenges will always come. Tough time will always come. It is normal. That's what it is. That's why we say it is life. You have to live it. You don't run away from it, because if you run away from it today, you're likely to meet it in the front tomorrow. So the best thing is to be prepared for it and strengthen yourself against every form and constantly looking out for how to overcome your own challenges without having to run away from it. Because if you learn to run away from it, you're not going to get anywhere. Coming to the book, My Scar, after turning 40, I've been thinking about that book for some time. In that book, the purpose is to tell people what I have been through in that's over 40 decades or 4 decades of my year. I established that, look, everybody has wound. So to say, your wound may be a disappointment, a relationship disappointment, financial disappointment, business, lack of business ethics from somebody. Somehow something will happen. Sometimes the bubble will burst without a warning in advance. But you don't have to, if the bubble bursts, what next? That's the question you should ask yourself. What next? What should I do? So I try to first of all say, look, wound is normal, but what you do with the wound that the life inflicts on you or your friend inflicts on you is a major thing. So I try to let people know that, look, for a wound, while it's still there, it makes you stink. It makes you keep hurting, and somebody that is hurt will always hurt another person. And therefore you need to heal. You need to take a conscious effort. You may give reason.
Seems the network is not good there.
I established something, a myth that I used to think it was right. I would say, time will heal your wound. That's your wound. That's a lie. I discovered time does not, if you're not doing anything about it. But time can only be capacitated or empowered to heal your wound only when you set in the healing process. So I discovered those are some of the things that, and then I now went into what my basic secondary school looked like, how there were internal crises within the family, and I had to go and look for money to go to school and all that. And then when it comes to other major decisions, the challenges that I faced and how I overcome them. Basically, what I'm trying to do is, whether you're an entrepreneur or whatever, you need to understand that life will happen. You can't run away from this. Life will always happen. So you need to in advance.
Thank you so much for that. Will you say your belief system assisted you to overcome the challenges you came across?
Sure. See, I cannot hide the fact that my belief system is part of what upheld me as an individual. I can't deny the fact that I'm a Christian, even though I was not always a Christian from day one, like every other person. But I just believe that there's something, a superpower there that helps you if you're working, if you're ready to work, if you're ready to give it all it takes. Unfortunately, when I got to the university in my 100 level, I said, I think it is time to move closer to this force that I'm referring to, that is up there, that is always helping people. So I guess my being born again and trusting in the power that, look, somebody created you here, and the person who put you here has a purpose. And that understanding began, and I began to study, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? How do I handle what life throws at me? So my belief system actually is one of the strongest pillars that I would say help me. Because for those of us who believe in the Bible, there's a place that says that if your strength fails in the days of adversity, it means your strength is small. Meaning that we are supposed to prepare for days of adversity. If we don't, then something is wrong somewhere. So that's what I like people to know. You need to prepare. You need to strengthen yourself. You need to build the capacity to excel, because what you have today may not be what you will be there tomorrow.
Thank you for telling us about the importance of the belief system is vital for us to have, a relationship with God. Somebody has said that adversity makes some people to break, while at the same time making others to break record. I know you are not a psychologist, but do you know why some people react, different ways to adversity?
Yeah, it's open, it's there for everybody. You don't have to be a psychologist first. What is your level of preparation for life? That's number one thing that makes the difference. What's your approach to life? What do you see life is? If life is all about, okay, it's a game, let's play it anyhow, you are not prepared for a lot of things. And your approach, your belief system, your association, the information at your disposal will always affect what happens when you face adversity. You need to know that. If at the end of the day, you don't have the inbuilt capacity to stand, it's like when there's a flood. For some houses, the flood will hit the houses badly. But as we know, the flood happens to every houses, but some houses with the damage may be more affected. Some of the things that will affect those things is, what is the foundation of that house? How strong is that foundation? If the foundation is not good, there's nothing we can do about it. So what is the basic is, everybody must have a foundation about life. So that foundation will determine whether they will excel or whether they will not. Whether they would develop crutches or they will climb up that thing. You need see. It's the foundation that you have, and the approach and the belief system and your knowledge and your exposure. Those things count. If you believe it can be done and you have that strong weight with it, it can be done. If you don't believe it can be done, you develop crutches and you just grow. But we need to have, part of the foundation that's required is a positive attitude to life. This thing can be done. It has happened before. And that's about knowledge. That means before the crisis comes, you need to have prepared in advance. Find out there are a lot of autobiography to read there, and you will discover that majority of people who excel today, who stand out today, they face something in life. The only difference is that they know what to do when the challenges come. Interestingly, sometimes we looked at some failure rates. Most of the people who are really successful, their failure rate is higher than their success rate. Go and check the record. The only difference is that the only major success rate for them overshadows every other failure rate. Look at Albert Einstein, the incandescent bulb light inventor. We were told, some have said 9,900 plus, some say 900 failures. But what did he normally say? I have discovered another way that it will not work. But for some people, one failure is enough they just give up straight. So these are some of the things that is important. What is your foundation? What is your knowledge? What is your approach to life? Who are you accompanying with? Your association will determine. Some will just give up and just go. It's like planting a seed in a dry land. You will discover some of them will germinate and grow despite the same environment and the same situation, and some will not. That's normal to life.
Thank you so much for that. The foundation matters, and it affects everything. It affects your mindset. It affects the way you look at problem. Somebody will see a problem and see it as a stepping stone. Some other person will see it as a stumbling block. Everything has to do with your foundation and your mindset, like how you rightly said. A lot of people are really going through terrible, difficult time during this period. What advice you have for them?